I've been a criminal defense paralegal for 6 years. I explain my job as fighting fires. I just made a huge mistake by not prioritizing trial over everything else. And I worked so hard that I got sick. Can AI help me prioritize my cases better? First of all, AI. AI can help you organize the work, but it can't decide on what's a priority in each of the cases. Okay. This is where paralegals shouldn't be as worried as everyone says about AI taking your jobs. Yes, AI is going to take some jobs, but what AI can't do is have the judgment and the experience, right, of 6 years working as a criminal defense paralegal. It doesn't have the judgment that you have in the real world experience. So it's going to spit out an answer that it thinks you might like. So keep that in mind. But take AI out of the mix because I don't think AI should be the immediate solution to the problem. I think overall it can help you, but let's assume that other people deal with this kind of thing as well. And I always say start with the triage. Triage, what are the highest priority things that I've got and map it out for a month out. Start with what do I have a month, maybe even 60 days out? What are the big picture things? I got a trial in 45 days. I've got summary judgment in 35 days, whatever that is. Map out a whole 60 days worth of what's going on in your cases, all the way up to tomorrow. So you're doing this, let's say on Monday morning, you do this all the way through what's due Tuesday. Map it all out, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, I would recommend by case name so that you can sort and filter by cases and dates and all that. And of those, now put priorities on there. And I would say three would be enough, right? Priority one is going to be what are things that could tank this case if the deadline is missed, right? Like not responding to an answer, statute of limitations, um, trial, right? Trial orders, scheduling orders, things like that. Motions to responding to motions to dismiss. That's priority one. What could, and think of it almost like this could get my attorney up on a malpractice charge if this happens, right? Priority one. Priority two are things that if you miss them, it's going to cause some chaos, but it's fixable. Things like not responding to a discovery response in time or interrogatories, even requests for admissions, even though technically they should be in number one, those I've even seen people fix and the judge let the admissions in, right? There's a whole motion you can do. So, okay, so that's priority two. And then priority three are those things like getting ready for trial. And here's where we get into problems. We think trial is out by 60 days, 90 days. The problem is that that's not the deadline because we all know there are 1,000 little small tasks that if you don't get done 60 days out, you're not going to physically have the time to do when it comes to trial. So I would prioritize those one, two, and three and have first the big 60-day picture of what you've got to get done. And I would literally start time blocking time on my calendar, put those things on the schedule to do well in advance. My first suggestion. Second would be, yes, you can go to AI to help, but again, it's not gonna have any judgment. It's just gonna pick due dates and say, "You gotta do this when." Here's the bigger picture, I think, for Nicole and anybody else in criminal defense work. I've gotta say, even above litigation work, criminal defense paralegals probably have the least amount of control over their calendar. I will tell you that. Because of things like somebody gets arrested, right? You thought Monday was gonna be you were gonna have 6-hour time block to do these interrogatory answers, and you don't because somebody went to jail over the weekend and you've got an emergency hearing. So, least amount of control. Knowing that and knowing you can't fix that, there's nothing that you can do about that. It's not some partner sitting in a corner office all of a sudden saying, "This is your priority. This is the priority." I would go into every day with an assumption, and it just depends. You might have to track your time for a little bit. I know you don't have to bill your time, but she works in a public defender's office. But track your time for a little bit and see, like, on average, how many hours a day are spent on those last minute, you can't set those aside things, so that you know going in that your typical 8-hour workday is never gonna have 8 hours worth of that other work, right? The 60-day outlook that we're doing, you're never gonna have 8 hours a day to work on that stuff. Maybe you find out that you only actually have about 5 hours a day. That's gonna help you plan better on those bigger picture things.